Welcome back to the Rex Arthur Show. This is Rex Arthur TV, where we discuss LGBTQ issues with an LGBTQ perspective and an LGBTQ approach and a humanistic approach in an LGBTQ plus planet where everyone in the world belongs to a sexual letter in the sexual alphabet. The 10 sexual letters in the sexual alphabet, LGBT double QIAAP. Each and every one of us has a letter. I hope you know yours. And we are back to the UDHR marathon. We're running. We've been running, and now we're on lap 11. The rights to the presumption of innocence, and of course, luckily we had done that when we had started, when we were discussing, I think, Article 7. And when we were discussing Article 7, it was very clear about the rights of an accused and the rights of anyone who goes to court. So one of the things they cover is presumption of innocence, and we covered it very well when we were doing that article, and that's why we won't talk so much about it right now. So let's go on. Sorry about that. Let us resume. Okay. Taming human rights. Good. So we are running in lap 11, right to the presumption of innocence. It is a UDHR principle. Congratulations to the UDHR. Everyone charged with a penal offense has the right to presumed innocence until proved guilty, according to a law. Sorry. We are back. Forgive me. We are a bit busy, and that's why we are tending to other issues. So that's why the show is going on and off, but it has to go on. Sorry about that. So we were on lap 11 or Article 11. So everyone charged with a penal offense has the right to be presumed innocent until proved guilty according to law in a public trial at which he has had all the guarantees for his defense. No one shall be held guilty of any penal offense on account of any act and omission which do not constitute a penal offense under national or international law at the time when it was committed, nor shall a heavier penalty be imposed than the one that was applicable at the time the penal offense was committed. So basically, we had already looked at this very well, and so much. You see, it's the same Article 14 that is still being relied on, and that's what we spent a lot of time digesting. And we were trying to look at the difference between civil law and common law. That in civil law, you are presumed guilty until proved innocent, and common law, you are presumed innocent until proved guilty. And that's the beauty of, I prefer common law. And what we have seen, the UDHR has taken the common law stance of presumption of innocence. And because the common law, of course, maybe the reasons we gave, one of the reasons it could be is because United States of America is the home of UN, and most of the drafters of the UDHR, it was drafted in UN in New York, and it's part of America. And being that part of America, so American legal system affected the shaping of the UDHR. As we told you, Eleanor Roosevelt was the wife of the President Roosevelt, and she was very instrumental in drafting this thing. So you can see this is the migrant workers. Look at that. You see the importance of presumption of innocence. It's very important because when you go to court, it is to enforce justice. And so these are just repeats of the other one that's also found in the International Civil Covenant. And this is for migrant workers. Of course, migrant workers have the rights. And then let's come to I'm liking the African Human Charter. They know how to write these things. Okay, we saw this. It's the same Article 7 we already saw. So basically, presumption of innocence is that if you're accused of a crime, you are presumed innocent until it's proven that you are guilty. And what does this mean? Evidence must be brought. That's what the word proven means. Evidence must be brought to prove that you actually you committed the crime you're accused of. So throughout the whole trial, you are innocent. So there's a very poor perception of this understanding in the public. People, whenever they see you in the courtroom, they just assume you are guilty. And this is the reason why many people don't like going to court. Because when they go to court, somebody is accusing them of, somebody calls them guilty, and it's not true. You go to court because there's an allegation against you. So when you get to court, now what is needed is evidence to prove that you actually committed the offense. And then you have a right to defense to say you actually did not commit that offense. And if the evidence is too weak to implicate you of the wrong, then you will be set free. And that's what you call acquittal. I was just seeing something happening in South Africa, and there was a South African man who has been acquitted of 14 charges, I think, because there was no evidence, or the evidence was weak. So he's innocent. And he will only be guilty when you prove that he committed the offense. So basically, that's presumption of innocence. And I'm not going to talk so much about it because we talked about it in the other article. I think Article 7, Article 8, and even Article 9, we touched a bit on presumption of innocence. So basically, presumption of innocence is your right. It's a universal right. Please don't forget, UDHR is not a legal binding document. However, it is a very important document to spell out the universal rights of every human being. So you have a right to the presumption of innocence. If you're accused of a crime, someone must presume that you are innocent until it's proven you are guilty. Reason being, if you presume somebody is guilty, people can even kill that person, and you're not guilty. You see, they can presume you're guilty, and then they can do a lot of. Yeah, so what we're saying as we finished this video, the problem of the civil system is that they presume you're guilty until you're proven to be innocent. It's harder to prove innocence, in my view. I'm going to study cases later on, not now, and see which is better. But from the looks of things, it's better to presume somebody innocent because you are not there. You see, you are not there when the person who was accused of the crime committed it. So you cannot claim that the person committed the crime. And that's why it's very important that you understand this right of the presumption.